As the Biden presidency implodes from scandal after scandal, disaster after disaster, and crisis after crisis, the Democratic Party is looking for a savior, a hero, or a heroine to save them from this national nightmare. Beating up on Trump is no longer enough. The rabid Democrats have unleashed hell on the former president, dragging America and its institutions through the mud during their relentless blood vendetta to ensure that Orange Man Bad doesn't sniff the Oval Office ever again. But in their never-ending Trump delusion, they have failed to notice one little thing. Their own party is a train wreck, and Biden is the biggest exploding, flaming locomotive ever to jump off the rails, derailing the real progress that was made under the former presidency. So is American Psycho Gavin Newsom coming to the rescue? He is apparently running a parallel soft campaign, endlessly blabbing about national politics on X, complaining about Ron DeSantis, the kind of thing you would expect from the narcissistic governor of the failed state of California who can't get his own house in order, but certainly has aspirations for the pinnacle of power in Washington, D.C., his own unbelievable denials to the contrary notwithstanding. But there's one true dark horse candidate, and she's been in the White House before. That was under America's first so-called savior, the Messiah himself, Barry Soetoro, aka Barack Hussein Obama. The former First Lady was mentioned by Texas Senator Ted Cruz on a recent Hannity episode as someone Americans should watch out for.
Here's what I predict, and this is something I said last week on my podcast, Verdict with Ted Cruz. I think the odds are very significant that next summer at the Democrat National Convention, that the Democrat Party will jettison Joe Biden, will throw him off the ticket, and they will parachute in instead Michelle Obama to be their candidate. I think they're going to look to Michelle Obama as the savior to come in. And I think if that happens, that would be very, very dangerous. And every time I see a Democrat or one of their puppets in the press beginning to point out the problems with Joe Biden, every time that happens, the chances of that go up and up and up.
But as improbable as it might seem now, the Democrats are definitely seeking a way out, an exit strategy, an escape hatch, because dementia-addled Joe Biden is about to go overboard, and his caretaker wife, Dr. Jill Biden, along with him. So there's virtually no doubt they're about to pull the plug on plugs. Cruz elaborated on why Michelle Obama is a tantalizing choice for the unhinged Democrats on his Verdict podcast.
If it's just the kingmakers saying, nope, we pick you, whoever doesn't get picked, everyone else is pissed. So here's the scenario that I think is perhaps most likely and most dangerous. In August of 2024, the Democrat kingmakers jettison Joe Biden and parachute in Michelle Obama. And I want you to pause and reflect on that.
Oh, I'm pausing and I'm reflecting as we said, and so is everybody else listening right now.
I view this as a very serious danger.
I'm smiling right now because it terrifies me, and I also could totally see this happening.
So Michelle Obama, number one, you don't infuriate African-American women, which is a critical part of the constituency that Democrats are relying on to win. But number two, you avoid the problem. If you pick from any of the four, the other three are pissed because they're all, to some extent, peers, they're rivals, they're all jabbing knives at each other. Michelle Obama, because she was First Lady, has the ability to kind of parachute in above all four and say, hey, we're not picking among any of you. You guys can all fight it out next time. You're all going to be on the same level. We're coming. This is the Obamas saving the day. And I think in terms of a solution that unifies Democrats, there ain't nothing like that. I also think Michelle is not all that eager to run for president. But to parachute in August of 24, a couple of months before the presidency, and suddenly wake up and be president?
Not a bad gig.
It's not a bad gig at all. Now, would she do it? I don't know. I've met Michelle, but I don't know her personally in any meaningful way. I don't know if she would do it. I do think Barack Obama is already running the Biden administration. I think he is already the puppet master behind this Biden White House. I don't think Joe Biden is the decision maker. And so when I see the media turning on Joe Biden right now, I think the odds of Michelle Obama parachuting in August of 2024 have risen dramatically, and that ought to scare the hell out of anyone who is unhappy about the direction this country is going and doesn't want us to go even crazier in an even worse direction.
Michelle Obama indeed would be a very dangerous opponent for Republicans because Democrats are like raccoons. They're attracted to shiny objects. They have no memory span and don't care about the past. They ignore history and they want to escape reality instead of facing up to facts. They prefer a fairy tale. And what bigger fairy tale to tell them than to have a black woman in the White House running the show, even if it means running America into the ground. The media would tout it endlessly as historic. They would waterboard us with Michelle Obama fluff pieces until we begged them for mercy. Then they would make her Woman of the Year. Move over, Dylan Mulvaney. And out of the depths of the old crotchety, crusty Biden debacle would be hellspawn and new kind of national nightmare. America getting its just desserts for its history of slavery, which is pretty much the same history as every other nation on the face of the earth, except the US actually refuted slavery during its founding and fought a bloody civil war to end it over 150 years ago. But be prepared for the 2024 Equity Tour from Michelle Obama. Don't be the least bit surprised and start exposing the myth before it can even be rolled out. Suck the hot air out of their trial balloon by treating her like a presidential candidate now. That means showing her mumbling all this for a damn flag, her uncritical and misleading support for a Black Lives Matter movement that thrashed America for months with nonstop rioting, killed over 20 people, and left black neighborhoods in ruins, and her trashing of Trump supporters for their alleged lies, hate, and division. So Michelle Obama's presidency would be every bit as divisive as Barack's, perhaps even more so. And one could argue that Joe Biden's presidency has been nothing but a puppet show, effectively a third term of Obama. America cannot afford another Obama presidency, whether it's Barack Obama or Michelle Obama. If you thought the Joe Biden presidency was bad, you haven't seen nothing yet.